Coach, if you don't mind, just give a quick opening statement. We only have 10 minutes, and then we'll take some questions from the media.
So that means if I talk for 9, we're in good shape.
Probably so.
So are we on the clock?
We are
counting, right?
We're on the clock now. You're right.
Well, first and foremost, I'm excited to get ready and get going again. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm proud of what our guys set themselves to a higher standard and you know, exceeding expectations, and yet there were some real lessons in how we finished. I'm not proud of that at all. Something that's very disappointing, and yet part of the key in the education process is what do you learn from historical evidence, and that's something we constantly talk with our guys about. And you know what, in the case of our football team, I think there probably weren't many of you in here that thought we'd be playing in Atlanta, and yet, you know what, we found a way to get there, and I'm proud of that. But by no means, any stretch of the imagination, are we happy with the way we finished. And you know, on a personal note, you know, from here, it was good last week and yesterday to get together again with our team, and yet I'd be remiss to say that my oldest daughter's getting married at our place on Flathead Lake in Montana Saturday. And in the short time we took off, it was a chance to really reflect on how fast time really goes. And you know what? I'm excited about that. I'm excited for her and our family, and then we'll get to the Gator family right after that.
Right side against the wall.
Coach, it's not something that any of us want to talk about, but you do have a platform. And I thought long and hard about what I was going to ask the head coaches here.
Sure.
And after the situation at Baylor, after everything started to come down and started to trickle out, one of the things I said on the radio was, I felt like probably most head coaches in the country, most coaches, took that as an opportunity to look at their own policies and their own procedures,
Absolutely.
look at their own closet, look in the mirror themselves and say, can I do better? What have I done in the past? And so I'm curious what that situation made you do personally and at Florida.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think we hit on it a little bit. I'm so much more, I guess, than just about wins and losses with our guys. You know, it's about, helping them travel through life a little bit, hopefully give them some nuggets that may help them be stronger fathers and good citizens and a lot of those type of things. And yet we all try to do that. I think in our case, with some of the things that have come to light, obviously there was a real opportunity based on historical precedents to go back and review and look into and something everybody has done. And yet, since we've gotten here, and I think our guys will probably say it, some of the things that they're going through in today's world, it's different than when I grew up.
Yes.
So I can't be the expert, but what I can do is bring a lot of people who are experts in to constantly visit with our guys, to be there for support, to be there to answer questions. And it's something that we work hard on. And I think you're right. I mean, it's it is something that we all needed to look at and not hide from. And yet, I'm big on being proactive and not reactive.
Yeah.
And that's something since we've taken over, we've instituted, and it's been good.
Well, you must be proud to hear your player here talk about what he's learned from you. I mean, you're standing against the wall there. That must have made you extremely proud as a father-type figure to him.
Right. I'm proud of all our guys. And yet, you know what? No one's perfect. And yet, what we can do to help, what we can do to educate, what we can do, not to say we're in their shoes, but here's a way to deal with certain situations, is something that we strive for. And look, nobody's perfect. And yet, I think the big piece there is, you hear it from a player. that should probably speak for how we're handling things like that.
Front row left side.
You know, first with your quarterback battle, do you plan on naming a starter before the game? Because last year, obviously, you let it kind of trickle in a little bit through the season. And then, you know, when it comes to the roster turnover, coaching turnover, and just sort of fluidity of everything that involves in college football, is having a first-year starter really that much of a hindrance for a program?
Well, you know, I don't know. I can't speak for all programs. I know this. You always feel a little more comfortable having a returner. You know, I think I always have. Yeah, been pretty fortunate to have a pretty good run with some first-year guys along the way. So I think it has more to do rather than about the quarterback position, but rather the positions around the quarterback that give that guy an opportunity to get a little bit better. And eventually that quarterback then in turn has to help elevate their play. That's my experience at kind of coaching the position. You know, in our case, you know, we've got, well, I feel good about our room. I like all four guys. We've got real arm talent. You know, a little bit of experience with some older guys, obviously with Austin coming in from a starter in the Big Ten, and a guy who's been there, done it, you know, with, you know, real action and real people in the stands. And then obviously the maturity of Luke is something that's good. I'll tell you, I am really excited about Felipe Franks and Kyle Trask, those two freshmen, and what the other two guys are doing to help them. And that's been fun to see. And that's kind of part of coaching, seeing guys grow up. It's kind of pretty cool.
Left side, third row.
Coach, you've been a head coach for a little while now. In what ways has it been?
Yeah, grizzled old veteran now.
Yeah. Has it been what you expected it to be, and what have been surprises along the way?
No, there's always a surprise, and you know, I think the preparation of the previous 27 years, whatever it was, as an assistant around some great head coaches, really being fortunate to learn so much from some really good guys, and you know, there's always going to be something. I mean, it doesn't matter how prepared you are. There's always something that comes up. But I think the key there is the continuity within your organization, the people you have to handle certain things, and your ability to trust how they handle it is something that's really important. And I've got some great people in our staff, not just coaches. I'm talking about our whole staff, and that's been fun.
Left side against the wall.
Coach, why is it seemingly more difficult in this era to be able to keep and develop quality starting quarterbacks?
Boy, I don't know. You know, that's an interesting question, and you know, it's the toughest position to kind of zero in on. Think about all the guys, you know, that might have been whatever top guys out of high school that, you know, don't ever end up being starters. You know, you just don't know. And I know in our case, you know, personally, I've been really fortunate to be around, I don't know, 7 or 8, I guess maybe 9 guys that have played at the next level and had an opportunity, and some are still playing. And those guys are all special guys. I mean, it was nothing about coaching. They overcame my coaching to do what they were doing. So it's interesting. I think fitting the systems is probably the biggest thing.
Last question right here front.
Coach, Jared Davis said for a linebacker, you want that kind of alpha dog mentality, and does he kind of have that?
Yeah, and you kind of saw the guy, pretty, you know, well spoken, kind of quiet, but don't get in the dark alley with him, right? No, you know, I've done a great job at our place, you know, defensively with that type of mentality. You know, guys that have an expectation when they go out to play really hard, and that's one thing I really, you know, Jared and now with Alex Angeloni coming back to, you know, 2 guys that, you know, really help you. And I think football's a little bit like baseball. You got to be strong up the middle, you know, whether it be running back through quarterback through interior, you know, defense all the way out. Being strong up the middle is something that's really important, and having linebackers that can control both the secondary and the front calls is something that, I'm sure glad that he chose to come back. I know that.
That's all of our time. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.